Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome. Listen, it has been literally, as the old folks would say, a month of Sundays. It's been forever since we have been live and I have been with you guys. And I'm just really thankful. I'm thankful that you guys have been supporting me and sticking with me through this journey. It's been really, really beautiful. So it literally has been 525,600 minutes. Yes, since I've seen y'all. It's been really, really long. If you've been following me on Instagram, you've definitely been able to catch me there. I go live and do all the fun things over there. But my Facebook fam, it's been a minute. But you know that if I'm back, that means I have something really, really good for you, right? So we are introducing over the next couple of weeks, same time, same place on Thursdays. Hey, nephew. On Thursdays at 8 p.m. EST, I will be interviewing guests who are actually coaches for Manifest 2025. And before we get too far down the road, I want to make sure that I take this moment of silence, of love, and of light for everybody affected by the fires in California. I have so many people near and dear to my heart who are in LA County, and I am sending them so many prayers, light, and love. And you guys can definitely join me. There are tons of links that you can click to help support monetarily, to send things. It's really, really needed. It's really, really needed. So I didn't want to go too far in the show without acknowledging that there are people who need our love and support. I don't want to just be up here willy-nilly, not acknowledging the things that are going on in the world. The other thing I wanted to take a moment and shout out the brothers of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, the greatest fraternity in the land. It is their Founders Day. Happy Founders Day. They are celebrating 111 years. They are our frat brothers. We are the only constitutionally bound organization. I mean, I'll stop right there. The list could go on. But I do want to make sure I shout out all of my frat brothers throughout the world who are celebrating on today. So without further ado, because y'all know I like to get into it, without further ado, today I am introducing two of the six coaches who will be participating in Manifest 2025. New year, new you. You may be asking, what is Manifest 2025? Well, you guys know manifest is my word. If you've been following me for like 2 minutes, you know manifest is my word. I'm all about taking control of your narrative, being intentional about what you produce, being intentional about how you show up, and being authentic in what you put into the earth, right? Because I believe that we all have been birthed out of the mind of God for a reason and a purpose here in the earth. So my job as a holistic wellness practitioner is to help you get there, and help you get there not just in one piece, but get there flourishing, right? We don't got to show up on a struggle bus. We can show up in abundance, filled with light, hope, and love, and becoming the best version of ourselves. So you guys who have been following me for 90 days of God, it has been amazing. So now we're taking it up a notch, and we're in our 90-day cohort of Manifest 2025, new year, new you. So I want to take a moment. I'm going to bring them off of mute. I'm going to take a moment and introduce you to our two hosts, our fellow coaches who are going to be helping all of you guys who register. You'll have some one-on-one time with them. It's really amazing. They both are individual, or they're both amazing in their own individual rights. So I'm actually going to allow them to introduce themselves, and then I'll dig into it a little bit longer. So I'm going to start with you, Erica, and then I'm going to end with you, Coach Tony, because I know that you're in popular demand. You have a whole other live to do. So I'm just honored that you can hang out with us for a little bit on tonight. So Erica, please introduce yourself to the people.
What is up, loves? My name is Erica, aka Creatively E, which is the name of my brand and business. Feel free to call me E. That's what most people call me. That is no problem. I'm so excited to be a part of Manifest 2025. Excuse me, Manifesting 2025. Because this is the year, and I know we say that every year that we embark into, but there's just something about 25 that just it's hitting different already. We're only 9 days in, and it's hitting different. But I work in transportation by trade, but by passion, I am a beauty services provider. For the past 15 plus years, I specialize in natural and protective hairstyling and nail care. So that is my passion. That's my gift to the world, to my clients, to people, as well as just being a beam of light and hope through my services and my encounters with people. So that is a little bit about me. Pleasure to meet you guys. Can't wait to work with you.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Thank you, E. I can't wait to dig in with you in just a second. Again, thank you for giving us some of your time. I know as a mompreneur, time is super short. So I appreciate that. And again, without further ado, we have the one and only Coach Tony in the building. I didn't put the name of her business because she has so many. Okay. Miss Tony is out here doing the things, ladies. If you want to be have somebody look and mentor you and help you get to being a serial entrepreneur and being a successful one, Coach Tony can get you there. So, Coach Tony, please take it away.
Thank you so much, Dr. Avery. I really appreciate you sharing your platform with me on this evening. Are you able to hear me fine? Awesome. All right. Thank you. Hi, guys. My name is Coach Tony Freeney. I am very excited. I'm going to be 52 years old here on February 2nd. And so I am just excited about 2025, guys. Back in 2024, it was a really rough year for me. And thank God at the end of it, there was a light that came on. And we'll get into that later, but it really changed my life. And guys, I just want to say, we have to guard our mind, right? We have to guard our mind and we have to guard our spirit because our mind is so strong. And sometimes we don't realize, people that, unfortunately take their own lives, they are very strong people. People think they're weak, and it's because their mind is so strong. So we have to really guard our mind. And so, that's where the manifestation comes from is we have to think that thing first, right? So once we able to get it in our mind and get our mind clear, then we can go farther and do anything else. I'm an owner of a trucking company. We haul wood here out of Louisiana, going on 5 years on the 21st, multiple six-figure business. So I'm very blessed with that. My husband just came in from hauling wood, so I'm very blessed with that. I've basically been a life coach all my life. Some people I got jobs back 30 years ago still have those jobs. Just always, I'm an empath. So I always just love people. So yeah, if you anything that I can do to help, I'm always giving a helping hand. So just thank you for having me. And yeah, I definitely love network marketing and business in general. So yeah, if you need any help, I'm here for you. Thank you, Avery.
I'm trying to multitask over here.
Oh,
Yes, yes to all of it. I was just dropping over in the chat that I appreciate everybody. Thank you guys for the likes and for the shares. You guys are amazing. Again, it feels good to be back. So I'm going to hop right into the interview, Miss Tony, because I know, like I said, that you are in popular demand. So again, we appreciate you spending time with us on today. So first, I really want to kick into you already gave us a really dope definition of what manifesting means to you and how you've kind of seen that in your own life across businesses. You mentioned, you're married, so I'm sure that's a whole other conversation about what to manifest. But can you get into what happened in your life that got you to that point of transformation where you're like, I'm gonna have to do something different. I'm gonna have to take my life into my own hands and produce and manifest what I want.
Well, just basically, honestly, prayer and just, I went into prayer and supplication and, I said, I just really need a change because, it was really nothing wrong with my life in general. When I looked at it, I have an amazing husband, very supportive, very protective. He makes the money. I have two adult children that, I raised well. And I'm just like, why am I feeling like this? But it was just my hormones. So once I just took control of my hormones, and just started doing my affirmations again and really just started honing in on change. We have to change. This is something that we have to want from the internally. We have to want it for ourselves. It doesn't matter who else want it for us. And me, I just remembered one thing I have is a good memory, right? And so I remember the old person that I was, and I wanted to get back to that old person. And so I just asked God, like, where is she? Like, bring her back to me. And I really got blessed in order to get something to help me to get back to that person. And so yeah, it's just been wonderful, and it's just a conscious effort. We're never too old to learn, and we're never too smart to learn. We have to always be open to different things that could possibly help us.
For sure. And I wanna go back because you hit a lot of really good points. So first I want to talk about this idea of hormones. I think that we don't speak enough about how our hormones literally affect every part of life. Sly way a little bit. I blame Hollywood for that because whenever we hear about hormones, especially with women, men, y'all have hormones too. Uh-huh. But especially when we hear about women, it's always, oh, my hormones that make me emotional, or we relate it to periods, or we relate it to pregnancy. But really, our hormones are a component, a co-pilot, really, to our lymphatic system and how our body functions, how we process and break down food. Like our hormones literally are driving the ship for everybody's body, man or woman. So I love that you said it was your hormones that were causing some of these differentiations between what was really, really good and what was really happening. So can you talk to us a little bit about how you took control of your hormones once you realized it was something outside of your control, but something you could control? What was your next step, and then how have you been able to complete that? Because not for nothing, y'all make sure after this, I'm gonna tag her in this. Y'all make sure you go and look at her before and after pictures. Mommy looks amazing, okay? So can you tell us how you got there, how you were able to control again over your hormones, and what are you doing now to maintain that?
Yes, ma'am. I am very, very happy to share this. I feel like I don't want to be mean when I say this, but some of our sisters been gatekeeping on us guys. Okay. I'll just say that. So menopause, right? Mental pause is what I call it. Mental pause is a beast. Okay, I'll say that in a nice way because a silent killer is worse than anything else, right? A quiet
Yeah.
killer, like somebody that you don't even know. If you don't know that you're in the war, if you don't know you're in a fight, if you don't know you're in a battle, you're guaranteed to lose, right? So the thing with menopause, we're just not educated on it. We just think, oh, our menstruation stopped, we have hot flashes, and that's the extent of menopause. Totally not true. Okay. And so I got educated. I'm a part of a platform called LEMD, and they really educated me on what pause was, why I wasn't actually crazy, and where that old person was that I was looking for, and why every time I stubbed my toe, I felt like the world was ending. And then, internally, I was able to hide it for a while. I'll be honest, for some years, I've been hiding it, and not necessarily hiding it, but just coping with it, I thought, right? And then about here last year when I turned 51, it started showing externally. It started showing in my gut. It started showing in my body. I went to California in September, and I didn't even want to post any pictures because I was so ashamed of how I looked, because I was just like, all healthy last year. And it's like, what happened? But for a whole year, guys, I was trying to go to the gym. I was trying to get back into walking and get back into things. But instead of going to the gym, I would walk right past my gym clothes and go right to the kitchen and get me some Rice Krispies. But it was the point where I bought 4 boxes of Rice Krispies, and I actually, because the food noise was so loud, guys, and I was just like, what is going on with me? Why am I craving these things? Like I was out of control. And it wasn't that I was lazy. It wasn't that I was greedy. It wasn't that I was, unmotivated. It wasn't those things. It was just that I didn't have control over my hormones. My hormones was craving these things. It wanted these things. And so by the time I turned around and I was just out of control, I was just like looking at myself. I was so depressed, guys. I was literally very depressed. Okay. And when I came across this information and I watched this video, it was like my whole life changed because I was like, wow, this is what's going on with I'm not crazy. I'm going through menopause. Like, this is what's the problem. And so I started taking something called GLP-1. And it's I don't want to get into like the medical part because I'm not a doctor. We have a lot of education on that if you need that. But I'll just tell you guys, since I've been on this medication, and it's not like a medication I can get hooked on or anything like that. I can stop it anytime I want to. But ever since I've been on it, guys, I have clarity in my mind again. I know who I am. I actually hear music in my mind again. Thank you, Lord. And then, guys, I'm able to go to the gym. I'm motivated to go to the gym. I've actually worked out twice today. Okay. I'm like clear headed. I'm like, and my husband started taking it. So where him and I was arguing 2-3 times a day, we're not arguing at all. He's on it. So it's not just the women, it's the men too that need to get their menopause, get their lady pause together, but get their hormones together. So I don't want to like be all over the place, but I'm just saying, like, guys, this right here is something that's the best kept secret. And the caveat to taking the medication and getting the clarity and getting all these things by you working out and feeling motivated and not having cravings, not having food noise, obviously you're going to lose weight. So I lost like 20 pounds in like 7 weeks and wasn't even trying to lose 20 pounds that week, but it was a lot of water weight inflammation.
Yeah.
I lost like 5 inches on my waist. My stomach, I look like I was pregnant, guys, and I'm like 5'1". Like, I don't need to be looking, having a big stomach and stuff. So I'm just so excited about what's happening. So, guys, like, yes, definitely, Avery, this is the thing for the ladies.
Yes, and I want to also just dibble and dabble into the medical portion because we experience it and kind of don't necessarily know what's happening. And like I said, I know you got to go, and thank you so much for your time. So when you're taking in GLP-1s, right? It's something that naturally occurs in our body anyway. It's peptides. And if you guys, shout out to all of my wonderful dedicated visitors of the Queen's Quarter Spa. I love y'all. But if you came to the spa, you know that you could come in once a week, schedule with my nurse. She would give you the GLP-1 shot and you would start to lose weight. But you also knew that I wasn't just selling it for weight loss. It helps with blood circulation. It helps with inflammation. It helps with, which inflammation, that would be your arthritis. That would be your joints when they're tight. That would be your flexibility and your mobility, right? It helps with brain fog. Peptides are how the cells in your body connect together to do the job they're designed to do. When they are not connected well, or if they're separated by fat or liquid or toxins, then they don't perform the way they're supposed to. So instead of your body flushing out fat, instead of your body having a wonderfully working lymphatic system, it slows the lymphatic system and slows your metabolism down. And if that's happening, you now have brain fog, and your brain is not sending the signals in the order that it's supposed to for your body to function at its highest rate, right? So when you take in what your body naturally produces, it's like a bell goes off and your body says, oh, there's things for us to do. Let's reset. And that's what causes the weight loss. That's what calms the food noise, the cravings, your gut health, which is where a lot of parasites, leaky gut, all of those things happen. And not to be too sciencey with it, but this is why having something that helps you regulate and helps your body get back to doing what it naturally does is really, really important. So Coach Toni is, again, amazing at what she does, and not just as an entrepreneur, but as someone who really advocates for women and men's health, for sure. And that's also how we over at the Queen's Quarters, we're now able to get these products directly to your door. You don't have to come in the spot anymore. So please be sure to connect with Miss Toni afterwards. Like I said, I know she's on a short time leash, so I'm going to let her go. But you all, I'm so glad you got a chance to meet her tonight, because again, for Manifest 2025, she is one of our coaches. So she'll be talking about GLP-1s. She'll be talking about working out. She'll also be talking about what happens as you are manifesting and taking things back in control. How does that look in your marriage? How does that look as a parent? How does that look as a business owner? Because all of those things are affected by how we show up. If we're not showing up as the best version of ourselves, we cannot put out the best version of ourselves. Anything that we produce is going to be on whatever level we're on, right? So I'm so excited that you guys get to spend some time with her and get to dig in and ask her questions. And again, thank you so much, Ms. Toni, for being with us tonight and introducing yourself to the people. If you have not registered, you can do so at averyatkinson.com/events. And if you are interested in GLP-1s, either myself or Ms. Toni can absolutely answer more questions and kind of help you zero in on how you can get on that same journey, not just for weight loss, but for longevity and feeling better about yourself from the inside out.
Right. Actually, Avery, I would just like to end with this and say that in my world, manifestation is an action word. It's definitely not something that you sit back on. You have to be very intentional about your manifestation, and you have to put action behind it, right? Faith without works is dead. So, with that being said, guys, yes, we have a big educational piece. We have a Facebook group that you can be a part of that either Dr. Avery or I can add you to. And tonight we have a special guest on our Zoom, which is Dr. Wagner, and he's talking everything peptides. So yeah, Avery or I can get you, that information as well. But yeah, be educated. That's what we do. We educate and we let people, know what's out there. Like she said, it's more than weight loss. So thank you for having me.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I would say safe travels to your next Zoom.
I will be right over there. I appreciate you all. Have a good evening.
Yes, see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So GLP-1s, hello and hello. I love when people can come on and be honest and talk about the struggle, right? Because you could pass Miss Toni in the street and not know that she used to really struggle, right? And so now that's no longer her story. And so I'm always thankful for when people can share their story. But now, friend, it's time to share your story. I am so excited that you have been able to join tonight. I'm also excited that the ladies who joined the cohort are going to get to have some time with you and really get to be poured into by you. I have been an admirer of yours since I met you. We met and immediately it was like an instant click. It was like, yes. Oh, I'm not the new kid. I'm just the kid y'all couldn't see before.
Immediately, come on in, friend. From the beginning, yes.
Listen, guys, I went to California. I was visiting from Korea in California in 2010 or 11. And E is best friends to my bestie. So I'm bestie by way of by proximity. Now, right. You guys have seen her on any of my live shows. She and I are always tag teaming and doing things. So anyway, you guys have been friends, correct me, since first grade?
Since preschool. So like maybe 3.
Amazing. 3 years old. Such a blessing. So when I say they're sisters, they really are sisters. And, I don't think I've ever said this publicly, but I thank you guys for taking me in as a part of your family. Cause preschool, y'all could have been like, oh, that's cute. And when you go back to Korea, but y'all weren't like that at all. Like you took me right in. Yanapu is Yanapu. And, it's been beautiful. It's just been beautiful to see her grow up and to see you slim down. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into it because mommy, you look amazing. Okay. But I'm just so thankful that I was able to connect with you guys and also to see you blossom, because I remember those early conversations about like, I think I want to do this, but I'm not really sure how, and should I jump out right now? And you did it. And it took off and is flourishing. And you are, people are nail techs, but you literally are like a nail care specialist. And just seeing what the transformation that you've had in yourself and how that shows up with your clients has been super duper dope. So let's get into this a little bit. And before I ask questions, I kind of asked you offline, but for those who may be concerned, you are in LA. LA County to be exact. And how are you? How are things?
in this moment, I am okay. Like, I am literally taking it minute by minute. Thankfully, I am about an hour or so away from the nearest fire, so I'm not directly affected. However, just LA is home. I am a native and my heart is LA. So having my hometown, having my family, friends, coworkers directly affected, and just seeing my city just in flames is absolutely devastating. The past couple of days have been heavy, very emotionally heavy, but obviously with prayer and faith in God that even with the devastation, even with all of the loss, God is still in control, and just believing that sooner or later, we're thanking God for sooner than later that He's
Yeah.
going to come through and He is going to put a cease to all of this, and just praying for protection, provision, and covering just as we just move forward in these next minutes, hours, days, and just pray that within the next couple of days they are able to contain families, can receive resources. But like I said, I'm okay. Thankfully, my family and friends are safe. I do have some people that were directly affected. So just keep LA in their prayers, please.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you for being vulnerable. I know I kind of asked you that on the spot, but thank you for letting us know. Sometimes things are lost in translation with media these days, and there
Yes.
can be um yeah, not so savory things that are said by leaders and people who should be saying more savory things. So thank you for letting us know directly from the source how things are going there. And thank you for, taking this moment to let people know how real it is and that you do have people who are directly affected, and letting us know how we can help you and support. And so, yeah, just thank you for that. I want to shift just a little bit. And I want to draw an analogy. And if it's uncomfortable, you know me, I'll pivot right from it.
Okay.
But I was looking at how there were like 4 different fires. And we could have a whole other conversation about, eco-terrorism and all those things. We could talk about that later. But what I want to focus on is these fires that are doing this damage, the likelihood that the proximity of them to all start at the same time and to be as devastating as they are is literally like 1 in a million. Like, I'm not exaggerating, like one. And I looked it up because I was like, this is it seems anti-theoretical to what my logic is trying to put out. And sure enough, it's like 1.0000000%, right? And as people were talking about their experiences and what they thought was happening and it wasn't happening, what I thought about was how in our lives there are a 1.1.1.1% chance that this thing happens.
Right.
This trauma incurs, and that trauma wipes out everything in proximity. And sometimes those fires keep burning. They keep simmering underneath the surface, right? And it's not until it's fully engulfed and fully inflamed do we see we actually don't have the resources to put that out. We don't have what's necessary to contain. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
although we're watching this happen, that could literally happen internally to all of us. There are
Absolutely.
choices and things that we endure, some things out of our control, some things within our control, some things that could have been prevented, some things that we didn't know we needed to protect or prevent from until after the fact, right?
Absolutely.
So, can you talk to me about how, and then you don't have to divulge any specific traumas or experiences, but can you talk to me about how having these disruptions to your life brought you to a place where you said, I'm going to take matters into my own hands. These fires are not going out on their own. I'm going to have to do something different to quelch and quench them. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Absolutely, Avery. Thank you for asking. Thank you for checking on LA. And I love you as well. And I just want to say that whole saying, that whole trend of no new friends. No, we do new friends over here, and friends that immediately become family. So I am blessed and I love you as well so, so, so much. Great analogy. And you know me, I am about transparency. I am about vulnerability because I believe that our testimonies, our stories, what we have lived through, what we have survived, or even maybe what we're experiencing in the moment can be used and will be used to help, to inspire, to encourage, and to bring someone else out. So um I'm going to allow myself to be transparent and vulnerable tonight, if that's okay. So I am, like I said, I'm an LA native. I am the only child of a mother who was a functioning addict, as far back as I can remember, up until I was maybe 21, is which was when I became pregnant with my daughter. Um, and my father, who was in my life as well, but grew up in the household with my mother. So having that experience as a child and that being a part of my internal fire, right? Because no one knew. You know, family knew, close friends didn't know, going to school every day didn't know, those in immediate proximity to me did not know. It was just an inner fire, right? And I was just would go out every day as a child, year by year, day by day, putting on my smile, putting on my face, because that's what I do, and just surviving. And growing up as a teen and becoming a mother at 21, and not only a mother but having a daughter myself. um a pivotal point in my life was becoming a mother and knowing that I was birthing a daughter. So those internal fires, that trauma, um, being a Black young woman growing up in Compton, California, to be specific, and all of the stereotypes and all of the trauma that I've seen and experienced with growing up, and just wanting to change the trajectory of my family, of my lineage, and just create a different dynamic. My mother, God bless her, I love her to death. Thank God she is delivered. She has been clean for actually 17 years. Thank God he delivered her. Actually, my daughter was born in June of 2007, and God delivered her and spared her life in January, which is my birthday month. I will be 40 at the end of this month. Amen. So she has been clean and delivered for 17 years. So I thank God and praise God for that. But I knew I had to um go into action to change the lineage and change the trajectory of my family, be it my mother, myself, my daughter, and so on and so forth. And fight through those inner fires, and obviously from a teenager, from a young adult, and even being a considerably young mother, even though 21 is young, because what you think you know, you don't really know, um, not having the resources. So, being a single mother, navigating through adulthood, and still experiencing and living through and surviving through trauma. I just trying my best to accumulate resources, connect with the right people, put myself in situations, build myself spiritually. I'm born and raised in the church, but as an adult, just really setting my foundation with my own personal relationship with the Lord. And just setting myself up for what that will look like, really for the fight ahead. Just as well as using that same analogy as all the firefighters and all those who are out working to contain this fire, working to preserve their homes, all that kind of stuff, just gathering whatever resources I could come in contact with in order to fight these fires so I can be the best version of myself. Um, and um Kind of piggybacking on what Coach Tony was sharing, it's incredible that even her tapping on the hormonal aspect, I was like, oh, okay, here's where we're going. So along with that journey, was diagnosed, excuse me, with PCOS. And for those who don't know, is polycystic ovary syndrome, which ultimately is a condition where you have multiple cysts around the ovaries, which can cause hormonal imbalance, infertility, weight gain, and the list goes on. So suffering from that, and again, fighting that fire without the proper resources. And it wasn't until 2017, where because of that, and then being under doctor's care, where I developed a blood clot in my leg. And within the matter of days, that blood clot traveled to both my lungs. And I ended up in the hospital for a week. And it was maybe a few days before Thanksgiving of 2017. And literally, it was nothing but the grace of God that spared my life, because I literally don't know. And to know people personally who have lost their lives for that exact same, I'm not gonna cry, y'all, who have lost their lives for that exact same condition, I am grateful. So again, fighting through PCOS, fighting through those traumas, fighting through those fires, and again, trying to change the trajectory of my life, my daughter's life, and realizing that I don't have to carry that baggage and transfer those practices, that were instilled in me to my daughter. So I know we have more questions that we're going to pivot. So ultimately, I would say we can start there.
Whew, E, this is why I don't even call you really. Because whenever we talk, it's I'm exaggerating, but it is always a blessing, because there's such a sweetness and a purity to whenever you share, and I really really appreciate that. There are a couple things I want to follow up on, but I want to really nail in that our bodies are merely vessels that can speak, I like to say. Our bodies clue us in and let us know what's happening. The part that we oftentimes miss is that our bodies also speak on behalf of our emotions.
Right.
And emotions are not just, oh, I'm happy, I'm sad, I cried today. Your emotions are literally how your brain rather is processing this incoming information. So if you have a trauma, which trauma just means you're on a specific journey and something unexpected has interrupted your normal, something you were not prepared for. When that interruption happens, our brains immediately go into, what do we do with this? You can have freeze, flight, or fights. You can have the pendulum swing. So you'll see this when people have specific traumas that may be of a sexual nature. They go in the opposite direction and do a whole lot of it, or the other opposite direction and they do absolutely none of it, right? That's an example, but our brains begin to tell our body what to do with this new incoming information, this new incoming trauma. The issue is, it doesn't stop at our emotions. Our emotions then begin to manifest cellularly. How well our cells take in this information. Do they hold on to it? Do they dispel it? Do they create false narratives around it? Do they create rooted words that create a system of behaviors, right? All of that comes in through our physical bodies by what's happening to us spiritually and emotionally. And so when we're talking about putting out fires, when we're talking about genetic makeup, such as PCOS, when we're talking about decisions that were made, such as having a child younger, right? All of those things, our body has had to put a place and hold on to that. And sometimes it looks like weight gain. Sometimes it looks like mental instability. Sometimes it looks like issues hanging on to relationships, just basic ones like friendships. I know that's not your story because y'all been friends since preschool, but for some people, relationships can be, sorry about that, guys. Your relationships can suffer because of how we are carrying these experiences. And I'm sure that I've used this example live before, but the petri dish test, right? Where they have two petri dishes. One, they're speaking negativity. You're ugly, you're terrible, you're nothing, you're never going to be anything. And then they close it and they freeze it. The next one, you're beautiful, you're lovely, you're purposed, you're worthy, you're enough, you're amazing, close it. What do you think happened? The one with the negative speaking had these distorted shapes,
Right.
nothing, it was disjointed. It actually even turned dark and cloudy.
Right.
Whereas the petri dish that had the positive language, the positive support, had these beautiful, and I mean, you guys can look it up. It's gorgeous. It almost looked like hills and valleys and these beautiful snowflakes. And this is a whole other world that flourished. What does that tell us? That our words that come from our thoughts, that our actual energy, are measured and hold space within density, or AKA water. Well, if we're 70% water, what we're saying, what we're thinking, what we're experiencing has an imprint. The question is, what's in your petri dish, right?
Right.
And then how are you dealing with that? And so when we're putting out fires and having what's necessary, what are your spaces rooted in, right? Like, what is it? A saturated ground? Is it a rich ground? Is it a healthy ground, right? Those are things that we have to take into full consideration when we're deciding to pivot. And that's really why I chose to do Manifest 2025. I wanted anybody who wanted to become the best version of themselves, anybody who wanted to take on the task of, let's put these fires out. Matter of fact, I don't care if your petri dish is frozen and dark and cloudy. We can melt that joker. We can melt that down.
Come
And
on.
all things can be made new, right? I
Come
wanted
on.
people who wanted to be on that 90-day journey with us to have not just my words, but the words of survivors like you, who are not just surviving, but you're thriving now. And I want to get into the business portion of what you've been able to do with Creatively E, but you didn't get there to that thriving place until you dealt with how to survive. And we can sometimes even get stuck in survival, right? The things that worked to protect
Comfortable.
you, the things that worked to protect you when you were younger, the things that you learned how to do, those behaviors that kept you from getting beat up, thrown down the steps, or whatever, that kept you from feeling like the odd man out and the weird looking kid and all of those things, those survival mechanisms worked. You needed them to protect you when you were younger. But now that you're an adult, those tools don't work anymore. Those tools are keeping you stuck in survival mode when really God has called you to surplus. You're stuck in sacrifice.
Careful.
He's called you to surplus, right? So
Careful.
we have to build our own bridges and get over it.
Come on.
That's something we have to actively do. So that is why I created Manifest 2025, New Year, New You. Every year I always do a challenge, but this year it was really, really pressed upon my heart to not just, hey, let's eat right, do things. I wanted to give people the tools and the guidance from people who've been there, because that's the thing, to get to the best version of yourself in the most expedient way possible. I mean, 90 days, you can make money in 90 days. You can fall in love. I mean, you can do a lot of things in 90 days, right?
A lot can happen in 90 days. A lot.
You could be a 90-day fiance. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So for you, tell me about Creatively E. Like, I know all the things. I have purchased some of the things and they have been wonderfully. I've had my hair done by Creatively E. Y'all, she's amazing. Okay. So what points did you get to that you were like, I need to I am creative and this is a part of my essence and I can make money doing this, because also you make good money doing what you do. So how did you get to that place where, one, you got over your fear that it went from a thought to actually a process, and then two, how did you decide, like, what was your niche, how to really dig in and create wealth and generational wealth for you and your family?
That is a great question. So I have been in the beauty space even before transitioning professionally, since I honestly, like 13, 14. I was just a young kid, asking mom, oh mom, can we go to CVS or whatever the drugstore name at the time, get into to press on nails. And my mom had arthritis, so I had to do my hair from a very young age. So I was very self-sufficient, to say the least, from a very young age. And then going through high school, I attended cosmetology school. And then it's always been in my blood. I've always had a passion and an interest for beauty, hair, and nails. And from a creative space. And it's not just it is a skill, but it is a passion. There's purpose in it. And it's also my vessel for creativity, one of my vessels for creativity. But with that, still speaking on fires, I suffered from low self esteem. I did not think I was worthy of actually having a business or pursuing it professionally or having a clientele, or even marketing myself. None of that. But I will have clients. I always maintain clients, 20s. And fast forward to 2017 when I had that scare where I was like, okay, Lord, you got to do something. You got to come in here because one, I cannot leave my baby. Two, I ain't ready to go. And I got more life. I have more life to live. I have more things to do. And just sit in the hospital and just making promises to the Lord, because that's what we do, right? Lord, if you get me out of here, if you spare my life, if you do this, I'll do X, Y, and Z. So one of the promises that I made to the Lord was, I am going to walk in purpose. I'm going to live in purpose. I'm going to step out on faith. And like I said, that was around November of 2017. And that following year, January, like I said, is my birthday. I officially launched Creatively E, which is my brand and business. Excuse me, starting with a line of handbags, turbans, a line of accessories, which is also in my creative bag. I sew as well. And that launch was a beautiful gift to myself and also those who have been supporting me and rooting for me all along. I It was such an exciting moment. And fast forward from 2017, still operating my passion, doing pop-ups, hosting events, excuse me, being able to bring other vendors in as well. Um, and having clients and having my products ship all across the world, outside of even have my products outside of California. That was mind blowing to me because I'm like, little old me, you have handbags in other states, you have handbags traveling the world. What? Me? Okay. Okay. So with every purchase, with every year, with every advancement was a confidence builder. Like, girl, like this is you. You were birthed to do this, and but still being in the corporate space. And so, as we know, 2020 came and the pandemic was like, hey, what's up, y'all? I'm here. And I hated my job. I absolutely hated my job. I was under stress. I was miserable. And while I was still working with Creatively E as far as products, um, because we go through those seasons where it's like, still being a little bit insecure and nervous, right? To where like, let me continue to hold down my 9 to 5, because what if this doesn't work out? Or am I worthy of making 6 figures or whatever the case? Kept my 9 to 5 and nearly, well, did have a breakdown. And I was like, I got to get out of here. So during the pandemic, again, one of my close friends, she was just like, and still having my clients, um, just make the step. This is a great time to fully launch the services aspect of Creatively E, which is like nail and hair care. And that's what I did. I told my job at the time, I was like, yeah, I got to get out of here because I have a kid at home, and she's transitioned because of the pandemic, and I got up out there and I knew exactly what I was going to do. So I officially launched Creatively E Home Services, which I was traveling. God is good, y'all. Traveling throughout Los Angeles, servicing clients with hair care and nail care, and God cover and protect me through the pandemic. And even the pandemic, people losing their jobs, but people still want to look good, even with lost jobs, even with the pandemic, even with being displaced. So my clientele boomed. And needless to say, since 2020, it has been a beautiful transition. I am thankful to say that I have had consistent clients for the past since 2020. And not only being able to offer services for people from just a beauty professional standpoint, because yeah, we want to look good, and yeah, I know what I'm doing. Yes, your hair's gonna look beautiful by the time I'm done with you. Yes, your nails are gonna look beautiful by the time I'm done with you. But also because it is a gift And because I operate in purpose, it's therapeutic, but it's also ministry.
Yeah.
So within my services, I don't take it lightly at all. Um, it's ministry driven. So
Yes.
I've been able to really pour into dozens, these to say hundreds of amazing women and men through these experiences, through my business, through my gift, through my talents, through my skills. And through that transition over the years, God has spoken to me and shown me and confirmed me that this is who you were always meant to be.
Yes.
Despite all the fires, despite the trauma, despite the domestication, despite what you felt or what you thought about yourself, this you are a valuable asset and people need you. Not just what you can offer, what you can do, but what you have, what's in you. And I am thankful to say that Creatively E is still standing, still not just surviving, but thriving. So
Yes.
going from surviving to thriving is where we are in 2025 and moving forward. So it has been an amazing blessing and just using all of that to encourage, inspire, and be an influential tool to people who struggle in any of those capacities.
Yes. And yes, and yes. I almost want to be like, and scene. Because yes. And this is why I'm so excited that our cohort gets to meet you and spend time with you, because you've done the things. You've done all the things. And it has been sustainable. Okay. Because you don't just want people who do things and then they done the week later. Yeah, no, you want people who have some sustainability, some staying power.
Exactly.
That's the old folks used to say, the staying power. You definitely want that. So thank you so much for sharing a bit of your story with us tonight. This wasn't on the list of things to talk about, but I think it's worth celebrating. I know that I cannot legally drop your before and afters because I did not get permission slips to do so. So I won't do that tonight. But y'all, if you get a moment, please go to her socials. I'm going to drop them in the chat. Please go to her socials. Mommy looks real good, okay? The milkshake has brought all the boys to the yard. And so I want to say happy transformation to you. How many pounds has
Yeah.
it been altogether?
So
Or have you done
the
yet? Is that...
definitely there has been a loss of 15. And because this is more the significance of it is not just a weight loss journey, but a life transformation. So because of that specific language and because of that specific mindset, I don't have a consistent regimen of like weighing myself. But definitely 20 pounds.
Mommy, can I tell you something? It's no way that it's 20 pounds. It's gotta be 50. I know you're not tracking, but I'm tracking. I've been tracking your photos. Like it has to be at least, you know what? I'll be generous because I don't want to make you out to be a liar on live. I'll be generous and say maybe 30. We'll give it 30. But and I love that you did it through 75 hard. I know you're gonna talk about that in the cohort, but you didn't just lose it creepily, you know what I mean? Like some people lose
Right.
it and it's creepy, and you're like,
Right.
that's a lot, right? But you look so good. It's literally almost like you were like, I'm shedding doubt, I'm shedding insecurity, I'm shedding anything that told me I couldn't do this.
Listen,
I'm shedding anything that said I couldn't be abundant. And you literally just woke up one day and was like, and I'm all the things.
because it's all weight.
Yeah, all the things.
Yes, because it's all weight. So all of that is weight that was dropped and will be dropping. Yes,
I mean, you
absolutely.
look good. It looks good in your face. You look so good, guys. I promise you, if you go to her Instagram or her Facebook, you can be like, oh, what? Yes.
You know what? I'm going to do that. I have not, it's been on my mind. Do it before and after. And I was like, do you want to? Especially to kick off the year and to kick off Manifesting 2025, I am going to do, today is Thursday, tomorrow, I am going to do a before and after.
Yes.
Yes. So thank you.
Because, I mean, most of my followers know I don't got time to lie, but
Right.
it's a lot of people who do the little airbrush and all the things to make it
No
look
filters.
like happen. These are not filters. These are
Not at
not
all.
filters at all. You look so good, and I'm proud of you, because
Thank
also
you.
75 hard is not easy. Literally, it's 75 real hard. So you still,
Very hard.
it's paid off. And I also wanted to include that because although everybody's on their own journey, I also have PCOS, and that's a whole other conversation for another day that we'll have offline, and all the things that come with that. But for me, my path to healthy included GLP-1s, taking glucomannan as well, which is a natural fiber. And so I did kind of the tactile, the tactile way to get there. But that is what was necessary for me to get back onto my health and wellness journey. I can't be a holistic wellness practitioner treating people and I look and feel a mess. That those two things
Right.
work. So there were some personal goals that I needed to reach, and I took that route. Still a natural holistic route, but just a different route to get there. So I wanted to make sure that the cohort was able to hear from someone who took my route, someone who did 75 hard. Actually, one of the other coaches, she's done 75 hard. Well, she's in day 8. I think Lauren says she's in day 8. And she's down 23 pounds. Come on, doing 75 hard. This is what I'm saying. And guys,
Yes.
he said it's not about the physical weight. We celebrate the physical weight, but
Right.
it's about all that your weight is carrying. It's the weight and the weight, right? Like if you can stop waiting, you don't have to be weighty. Like it's not a thing. You can release that when you get good and ready. And we want to create the support system for you to do just that. So yes, thank you for the before and afters. Because again, people are able to understand when they can see. That's how our brains work, right? We blink in
Right.
and then process it. So I want people to see what your commitment looks like. I want people to see how you went from being on fire and carrying those fires with you to making a decision to extinguish them and put them out and put boundaries. And now,
Yes.
Mother Curvy and just fly. Yes.
Decide to give a little shoulder this evening too,
I said, give us the cold shoulder. Give us the cold shoulder. I love it. But thank you so much. As we're closing, how can people contact you, follow you? Of course, guys, I want you all to join the cohort. Matter of fact, I'm going to type it in. What is my name? Hi, Avery at kinson.com/events. Boom. Yes. So you guys have it in the chat. If you guys want to join the 90-day cohort to manifest 2025, new year, new you can click there and register. There is so much in store. We've got workbooks, we have work-ins, we have workouts, there are meal plans. We even have a personal trainer. So they'll be actually doing live sessions with you. There are competitions and prizes. Also, of course, you guys will get one-on-ones with me. We also have VIP where you get mentorship from me as well. I literally wanted to give you guys everything and remove every excuse from off the table for you to start your journey to becoming the best version of yourself. So that's how you can get in contact with us for Manifest 2025. But how can they get in contact with you, Eve, if they want to get their nails done, their hair done, bags, accessories, all the things? Yes. How can they get in contact with you?
So, as Avery has already shared, I am in the Los Angeles area. And like I said, I do travel within the Los Angeles County. So, if you're looking to, to get your hair did, your nails did, or anything, in that nature, feel free to hit me up. I am on Facebook, I am on Instagram, Creatively Eat. Now, listen clearly. Creatively Eat, that is with the K. So, KREATIVELY and the letter E for Erica. So Creatively with a K E on Facebook and Instagram. You can reach me, you can find me, you can see my work, you could even follow me just on my journey of creativity, business wise, and also through this journey of just a holistic lifestyle. So I would love to hear from you guys, and I can't wait to work with you guys with Manifest 2025. This is going to be incredible. Why? Because every year we cross over is great, but it's something about 25 that's just, and that's the reason. I'm sorry if I could say this. That's the reason for the fires. While it is causing devastation, while people have lost their homes, this, all of that. But using that same analogy in a figurative sense, sometimes things have to burn, some things have to die, sometimes some things have to be destroyed in order to start fresh. So if I could tag this in this manifest 2025, in this 90 days, some things will die, some things will burn, some things will be destroyed because it's new. So shedding all that weight, shedding all that is old, and tapping into that new. So I'm ready for the fire. Lord, put out this fire here in LA, but I'm ready for this fire in Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name, yes. We're going to
Yes.
preach, Lord. We're not ready for no parts. Send all the water, send all the rain in Jesus' name.
Please,
For
Lord.
sure. For sure. I absolutely love that. Thank you so much. That's a perfect close. That's exactly what we want to do. Yes, fire does purify. Absolutely. And after all the great fires, new forestation, new vegetation comes, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. And just even in the Hebrew calendar, this year literally is the year of double abundance. Double abundance. I mean, abundance is great, but literally double abundance. And I'm thankful that we get to live in that and we get to be a part of that together in this cohort. So again, if you guys have not registered, www.averyatkinson.com/events. You can also reach out to any person you've seen on this live and we can point you in the right direction. We are excited. Next week, I have 2 more coaches who are going to be a part of 2025 and give you guys amazing information and wonderful support. So please tune in next week, same time, same day, same place. I was gonna say same back channel, but yeah. And you guys know I normally have some fancy schmancy name for the show. This is not a show. This is just an introduction. Your girl is still a full-time medical chaplain. So that is a whole life in and of itself. Yo Chap is actually going to be over on YouTube, so you can catch me over there for that show. But this is all about Manifest 2025. So until next time, be good to yourself, grace yourself, and give yourself room to grow. And we will see you guys on the other side for Manifest 2025. Take care.